Okay. Welcome everyone. I'm Ganga Prasad. I'm a faculty in the Department of Applied Mechanics and Biomedical Engineering. We also have Professor Danny Raj, who is also a faculty in our department and is outreach team coordinator for our department. And thank you all for joining in. Firstly, today we're going to briefly describe about research in our department, a big picture overview of what we do in our department, and then we'll shift to how to apply to this particular summer fellowship program, which is, I guess, why you guys are all here. Right? You want to figure out how to apply to this fellowship program and the kind of stuff that we do in our department. Um, so we'll get started. So the first part of the talk is going to be about the broad overview of the department. And then the second part, we're going to talk about something specific, which is applicable only to students from CFTIs, centrally funded technical institutes, such as NITs, IITs, other IITs. Okay, so let's get started. So our department, Department of Applied Mechanics and Biomedical Engineering, was started in 1959. It was one of the departments that was that started along with several other departments in the first go of IIT Madras. It's a full-fledged interdisciplinary graduate department, so we don't have an undergraduate program yet. And so by interdisciplinary, you can see that you'll be able to see that in the course of this presentation, we do research at the crossroads of traditional disciplines. Okay, so broadly for legacy reasons and over the history of the department has been classified into three parts, three groups, three research groups. One focusing around solid mechanics, the other on fluid mechanics, and the third one is on biomedical engineering. So though these groups seem to be very rigid in title, the kind of research that we do are really at the crossroads, as I just mentioned. We are a graduate department, so we do research and we also offer degrees at the graduate level, and we have 230 PhD students in our department, 127 MS scholars, and 80 MTech students. Right? So you can see that we don't really have a undergraduate population, except for interns and research scholars who float around. Okay, so we have 38 faculty members in our department working on these three groups. So we offer broadly two graduate degrees, one which is MTech, and there are three specializations in MTech. MTech in computational and experimental mechanics, MTech in biomedical engineering, and a joint MTech in clinical engineering. Again, I mean, though you guys are undergrads for the most part, this is just to get an idea of what's happening in our department, right? So that's going to tell you a little bit about the kind of research that we do. Because we are a graduate department, we are also heavily focused on research. So we have an MS by research, which is essentially a master's level research focused program, whereas the MTech program is more courses driven. Right? So you see that our department has a strong focus on research, and also at the same time, we offer regular coursework based teaching. And the department's expertise under these three groups that we saw, solid mechanics, fluid mechanics, and biomedical engineering, can be classified into several of these subtopics. I'm just going to walk over a few of them so that you get a flavor for the kind of stuff that's done in either in the theory lab or in the simulation, right? So if you look at microfluidics and biomimetic flows in the fluid mechanics section, we have faculty members who work on the theoretical modeling aspects of microfluidics, which has to do with flow at really tiny scales. It could be flow of a bacteria swimming in some highly confined environment, or it could be cells which are interacting with mutant cells or invasive pathogens and things of that sort. So that's an example of experiments and theoretical modeling that's being done by the fluid mechanics group, particularly in microfluidics. right? So that's just a small example. On the other hand, if you look at something like 3D printing that a group in solid mechanics works on, so they are working on finding new materials to perform 3D printing, new ways to also 3D print so that they are better than the state of the art. So that's an example of what the materials people in the solid mechanics group are interested in uh, pertinent to 3D printing. If you let's take a small example of biosensors in biomedical engineering. Again, so biomedical engineering focuses a lot on the devices, ways to build new devices that can be deployed in a medical setting. So biosensors could be developing novel sensors to make measurements of biological signals, right? Broadly speaking. So you can see our department has expertise spanning from some microscopic fluid flow to 3D printing, which is technology, to something like sensor development. Again, it's a technology, but applicable to a medical setting. So the research in the department is really diverse, and you can see that this is an interdisciplinary department in every sphere. We have international collaborations across the globe, around the globe. So here are a few universities that faculty from our department collaborate with. We have strong collaboration with universities in the US, in the Europe, and that of course helps in performing research because it's very important to keep yourselves up to date if you want to really work on cutting edge research. Right? So this is just to show that we have collaborations across the globe. And we have several centers and initiatives that faculty from our department spearhead. Here are a few centers. So, for example, IIT Madras has a sports center where faculty are interested in understanding the mechanics, kinematics, and dynamics of sports. How do you play sports more efficiently? So people from the the biomechanics group in the biomedical engineering and the mechanics group are all part of this sports center where they look at problems in sports physics or sports mechanics. Right? So on the other hand, for example, if you look at the energy consortium, people are interested in finding new ways to efficiently use energy, efficiently transport energy. And the energy consortium is led by a faculty member from our department. So just to show that there are these initiatives that are happening within the institute, and faculty member are all part of it. And most of what you see here are really research at the contemporary level. So these are all topics of serious contemporary relevance, and faculty member in our department are part of it. So, and of course, faculties are also part of the Robert Bosch Center for Data Science and AI. As you can guess, the research is done on artificial intelligence and data science. Funding for research in our department comes both from the government agencies, government ministries, few of them listed here, and also from private industry partners who are interested in specific aspects of research in which faculty are experts. And funding also comes between universities, uh, between which faculties have collaborated. Okay, so just to give you again an idea on how research in our department is done. Okay, so now I'll just give you a brief outline of the summer fellowship program, and then I'll move to the aspects that are relevant for students from CFTIs. Okay, so this summer fellowship program, the application or the registration form is already open. I highly encourage all of you to go and fill this if you haven't done this right after this presentation. Is meant for students who are in the third year of undergraduate studies or in the first year of master's studies. So the duration of the internship is between 19th May, approximately. This is an approximate date. The actual dates will be sent to you once you complete your registration form and it is selected. The approximate duration is going to be between 19th May and 18th July, and the stipend is 15,000 rupees per month. And the registration link is over there. So this is the registration link. Please make note of this. And the things that you need for registration are these documents. Besides this, there is a small form that you have to fill in. It's a very simple form. You can have a look at it. The documents that you would need are basically a digital version of your passport size photo. You have to upload your category certificate if that's applicable to you. You have to upload your Aadhaar and your bona fide certificate. Okay, and you also have to upload all your mark sheets from your 10th standard up till your if you're an undergraduate till the uh, end of second year. I guess you wouldn't have gotten your third year mark grade cards. So you have to upload all the grade cards that you have with you into this portal. Okay, so the link of the portal is the registration form is here. Okay, so before you apply, or if you've already done, if you've already filled in your applications, we highly encourage you go and have a look at the list of projects that are offered. So I'm just going to open the web page for you. So if you click this, if you go to this web page, so you can either go to the applied mechanics department, go to academics and click summer fellowship, or just use the link that I just showed you and click projects for summer 2020. Right? If you are looking at this in a mobile phone, you can click this and that will take you to this spreadsheet. Okay? So the spreadsheet has the project title, the project description, and the kind of project. Is it a theoretical project? Is it a numerical or a computational project, or is it an analytical project or an experimental project? Okay. So you can see the faculty members have already floated this project out for this coming summer. So this is meant for summer 2025. Okay, so you can have a look at the project title, the description. You can go visit the faculty members website and see broadly the kind of problems that they are interested in and make note of it. Okay, so what we encourage you to do is after you've filled in the registration form and after you've gone through the projects, you can get in touch with the faculty member to see to convey the information that you are interested in this project and you have applied for the summer fellowship program. And this is an important step to uh, make note of. Okay, so just let me just repeat. Go to the summer fellowship page in our department, look at the projects, and after you're done registering for the fellowship program, write to the faculty member whose project you are interested in. Okay, so this is all that's pertinent to the summer fellowship program uh, in our department. So via the summer fellowship program of IIT Madras, if you're interested in doing a project in our department, this is what you need. Okay. So what we're going to do, what we're going to discuss after this is discuss aspects that are applicable to CFTIs, especially NITs and IIITs. If you have questions, please hold on. We'll come to questions by the end of this presentation. Please hold on to the questions. Okay, so IIT Madras has special MOUs with several CFTIs across India. So here are a few examples. The list is slightly longer. I'll point you to a link to see if your institute is part of an MOU with IIT Madras. I'll tell you why this MOU is important and how is that related to the summer fellowship program. Okay, so broadly, if you're from any of this institute or an institute with which IIT Madras has an MOU, then there is a well-defined pipeline for you to join the department, do your final year project, and extend the final year project towards a PhD. Okay, so that's the aspect of the MOU itself. So let me repeat myself. The reason why this MOU with CFTIs is relevant for the summer fellowship program is as follows. If you're a student from a CFTI and you want to do your final year project, and after your final year project, you also want to continue towards a PhD program in our department, the summer fellowship program is your starting point. Okay, so let me just walk you through the steps that if you are a student interested in doing your final year project, then these are the steps that you will have to go through. The first step is to apply to the summer fellowship program via the registration form I just pointed you to in the slides, few slides back. So you apply, fill in the registration form, then our department will get the list of students who are interested in this. Once you are selected for summer internship, you can come here. And if you're part of the MOU, just to say if you're from an institute with which IIT Madras has an MOU, the department will check with you whether you're interested in doing your final year in the department and if you performed well during the internship. Right? So if you satisfy both of those conditions, then you will be able to do your final year project here at IIT Madras. Right? And there are course requirements during your final year, about which I'll just talk briefly right after this slide. But basically, you can spend your final year at IIT Madras. Okay? And if your CGPA is greater than 8, you're directly eligible to apply for a DPhD or a direct PhD program at IIT Madras without giving gate entrance, right? And if you go through, if you go through this process and the department finds your performance to be good, then you will be directly selected to do PhD in our department. Okay, so this is the process by which students from CFTIs with which IIT Madras has an MOU can get enrolled in our department to do a direct PhD. They can firstly do their final year project and they can also do their direct PhD in our department. So that's the reason why this MOU is relevant. So there are some caveats to the MOU which we'll go through. Okay, there are some important points to know. So if you want to leverage this MOU, you have to make sure you don't have any backlogs in the courses in the previous semester. Okay, so that's an important point. You have to make sure you have a minimum of 8 CGPA if you want to leverage this MOU. So otherwise, you are always welcome to apply for the summer fellowship program. There is no criteria as such. There might be some selection criteria depending on the number of applicants and the number of openings that we have in the department. But if you want to leverage the MOU aspect, you have to make sure you have a minimum of 8. Okay. An important caveat is you will be spending your final year at IIT Madras, but during that final year, you won't be eligible for campus placements of IIT Madras, right? Because IIT Madras will just be a host institution. Your home institution will still be your institution with which you have your registration, right? Where you're doing your degree or where you'll be getting your degree, right? And the important point to note is that after you finish your final year project here, your BTech degree will not contain the affiliation of IIT Madras, right? So these are the important aspects of the MOU. Let me just reiterate these last 2 points. When you do your final year project at IIT Madras, if you select to go through this process, and if you're selected to do your final year project in the department, you won't be eligible to sit through the campus placements of IIT Madras. You will be working on your research problem with the faculty and the department, but and then you'll be provided hostel space. You'll be able to do courses and make sure you have enough credits that are required by your home institution. IIT Madras will be a host institution, and you can't sit through placements of the host institution. Okay, and your BTech degree also will not have affiliation of IIT Madras. Okay, so these are the important aspects of the MOU that you need to be aware of. Okay, so with that, so there are some small details with respect to how do you pay your tuition fees, how do you pay your hostel fees, all of those. I'm happy to discuss that, but those are minor details that have already been discussed in the MOU. I can point you towards the MOU, but those are details that I'm happy to discuss after the presentation. Okay. So with that, I'm going to open the floor for questions, and then I'm just going to flash the registration link again. And if you have any specific question related to the MOU, here is the email ID of the MOU person at IIT Madras. You can CC me or Professor Danny here in your email so that we are also in the loop. We'll make sure your query is addressed. Okay. So with that, I'd like to conclude the presentation and open the floor for questions.